14,000 Things to Be Happy About. This is the title of a book I first noticed as a young teen in the 1990s. It was written by Barbara Ann Kipfer, and it is still available today. It isn't a novel, it's not a memoir, nor is it any kind of self-help workbook. It is simply a list that happens to be 600 pages long. It's not organized in any identifiable way. There are no chapters, nor subheadings, or kind of timelines. It is in black and white. There are no photos, and there are these little occasional doodles by an artist and illustrator, Pierre Lattan. And I was fascinated by this book. I never had my own copy, but I always seemed to notice it on the bookshelves of people that I admired. People like my older cousins, or new friends from summer theater, therapists, PhDs, and other really smart, accomplished adults. I saw it in the households of family friends that were really artistic, or maybe a little counterculture, or sort of like just kooky. I would pick this book up and I would graze through it, and I would truly wonder how a list that wasn't even alphabetized could still be helpful to so many people. And the number sort of mystified me. Like 14,000 is a big number. Could I come up with 14,000 things? Probably if I tried really hard, I could come up with 100 things. And conversely, 14,000 is not the largest number in the universe. Like if you were going to include absolutely everything good that ever brought you joy ever in your life, shouldn't that number be a lot larger? And how did this author get to this specific enumerated list? What was the cutoff criteria? Which items made it in and why? So it was equal parts curiosity and skepticism that always compelled me to pick up this book. And each time I flipped through it, I had a great experience. There is kind of a rhythm and an order to the book. The entries are not formally organized, but they do reveal a kind of flow similar to free association thinking. And so many of the things resonated with me. Things about nature and about animals and about being with people and eating and drinking and using all of our other senses and just connecting. Not every entry resonated with me, but the majority certainly did. And as I sort of skipped around and found more and more entries with which I wholeheartedly agreed, I came to realize that this is the most perfect list for this author. And I could believe that I have a similar list within me. 14,000 Things to Be Happy About is essentially a gratitude list. And I find a similar expansion that happens within me when I engage in gratitude practice. The more I can find and recognize and articulate things to be grateful about, the more things occur to me. It's almost like magic, like the miracle of abundance. The more we look for the good, the more we find it. And that expansive experience is why it is vital for me to share my abundance of spirit. I find with certain emotional connections and certain types of community care, the more I give out, the more I seem to generate within. At First Parish in Cambridge, that giving out often takes place in our Sunday morning chats, in my beloved conversations group, and in contributing to worship services like this one. And I can tell you the very best feeling is when I hear feedback in how the way that I have shared has a direct effect on someone else and how they want to share and how they want to connect and extend compassion to another human being. And so we think about that person can influence many more people. And those receiving that care and compassion can turn around and influence many more. And when we think about that, we can feel this kind of swelling and multiplication, and we get to really an abundance of caring. And as we at First Parish hear the call from Black Lives of UU and from diverse revolutionary UU ministries and a number of other leaders within our formal organizing body, we hear this call to adopt the eighth principle and unambiguously commit to build a diverse, multicultural, beloved community. We hear this call to hold ourselves accountable as we dismantle racism and other oppressions in ourselves and in our institutions. As we consider this request for commitment, we understand this is vital work, and difficult work, and uncomfortable work. If that discomfort or even fear has the potential to block our progress, then I would encourage us to see how our abundance of caring can make this eighth principle a reality. As we give, as we grow in capacity to care, we can undergird, we can support, we can surround this whole work for beloved community. The more we give out, the more we generate within. The more care and compassion we give out, the more care and compassion we generate within. And it really is my hope that the care and compassion we generate can morph into motivation to formally adopt the eighth principle at First Parish in Cambridge. Thank you.